there folks, John here with Through My Lens, and today I'm coming to you with another firearms related video. Today we're going to be looking at the SIG MPX that I have set up for USPSA competition. Now a few weeks ago I did a similar video on the MPX that I have set up for Steel Challenge competition. And I did mention this, my second MPX rifle, which I actually bought before the MPX PCC. This is an MPX Carbine that I've used for several years now, and I've done quite a bit of upgrades and modifications to this one. Where my MPX PCC is relatively stock, this one has very few SIG parts left over, thanks to some very generous sponsors that I have that have helped me upgrade some of the more critical components. So let's go over it. So to begin with, I have the Eisler Custom Gun Works carbon fiber handguard, and I talked about this on my MPX PCC that I have for Steel Challenge. I have that same handguard on that rifle. It's a fantastic handguard. I recommend that anybody who shoots a rifle in competition go look up Eisler Custom Gun Works and Mark Eisler. He's been a fantastic friend and sponsor, and he makes a marvelous handguard. It takes a lot of weight off that front end. It has a very consistently round, very smooth ergonomic to it that really helps in competition. In the various M-lock slots that are cut into the carbon fiber handguard take a lot of weight off, but they also provide some indexing points for when you do your C-clamp when you're shooting the rifle. Really like it. Do check out Eisler Custom Gun Works. Now the other really significant upgrade that I have is this In Lead We Trust 16-inch lightweight barrel. Really appreciate Robert Ott. He's been a big friend to the MPX community, and he makes a lot of aftermarket parts. If any MPX owner, whether you shoot competition or not, do check out In Lead We Trust because he has, again, a lot of components that are in some cases better than what SIG makes themselves for certain critical components. But this barrel, I actually shot all last year and was really impressed with it. Like the handguard, the barrel takes a lot of weight off up front. The MPX can kind of be a little bit on the heavy side, but with this barrel and this handguard combined, it's a very lightweight rifle that I'm really happy with. The other really nice thing about this barrel is the threading. The thread pitch that Robert Ott uses is compatible with standard muzzle devices, whereas the stock SIG MPX uses a non-standard thread pitch that you would have to use an adapter within a muzzle device. And I will talk about the compensator that I put on this rifle here in a second, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the other things that I did to the rifle. From a trigger perspective, this one has a Hyperfire competition trigger. Now I've used Hyperfire triggers on a lot of my competition rifles, whether they be AR-15s or PCCs, and really is my preferred first choice for a competition trigger. They usually have about a 2-pound trigger pull, which is insanely light, and the pre and post travel is negligible. I mean, I've talked to the most ardent trigger snobs, and they all love the trigger that I have on my rifles, this Hyperfire competition. Really recommend it, and it seems to stand up well to the rigors that a PCC platform, particularly the MPX, will put on a trigger. So it really is one of the better choices for a competition trigger. You'll also see that I have a magwell on this rifle. Now I have a magwell on my Steel Challenge MPX as well. That one I have the Terran Tactical Innovations magwell. Aesthetically, I like that one a little bit better than this one. This one is a Springer Precision magwell, but this, from a function standpoint, the Springer Precision really is my preferred choice. It's more minimalist. It doesn't extend downward as much as the Terran Tactical Innovation, which means that you have more room between your knuckles and the end of the the magwell, because I find with the Terran Tactical Innovation, unless you, when you do your mag change, unless you grab really low on the magazine, when you come up on the Terran Tactical magwell, you will bust your knuckles on that thing, and let me tell you something, that hurts a lot. But this one doesn't. That's why it doesn't have the front portion of the magwell here. It's open to give you more room when you come up, when you do your mag change, but it does extend the I guess the area that you're inserting into with the magazine quite a bit. It doesn't add much weight. It really is a nice magwell for use in USPSA competition, and I highly recommend the Springer Precision. From an optic standpoint, again, it's the same optic that I use on my Steel Challenge MPX. It's also the same optic that I use on my Steel Challenge rimfire rifle, open rifle. It's the SIG Romeo 1. It's the, I guess the original or the legacy Romeo 1. Excuse me, this is the Romeo 3, not the Romeo 1. It's the legacy Romeo 3 that has been out for quite a while. Last year, SIG did come out with some other versions of the Romeo 3, like the Romeo 3 XL and the Romeo 3 Max. I've played around with them, like them, but I haven't been motivated to upgrade this Romeo 3. It works great. Love the mount that it comes with that acts as a riser as well. Brings it right in line with the sight. It's very similar to a Seymour RTS, but I like it a little better. Great optic there. Now, in terms of the muzzle device, this is a Coda Evolution compensator. It's titanium. It's heat anodized. I did a review of this just a couple weeks ago. This is probably one of the newer additions to my rifle that I really like a lot. I tested it side by side with the compensator that's on my MPX PCC. It's the one that SIG designs and ships with the MPX PCC, and I think it is equally as effective as the SIG PCC compensator. There's just a little bit more muzzle bounce and dot bounce with this one. It's hardly noticeable when you actually shoot, but I did note it in the video. It's here on the Through My Lens YouTube channel here. You can see that comparison video, but there's just a tiny bit more bounce, and I really attribute that to the fact that this rifle has a much lighter weight barrel. I think the heavier barrel on the MPX PCC serves to stabilize just a little bit more, and that's one of the reasons why I use that build in Steel Challenge. This one, I can transition just a little bit quicker with this. It doesn't fatigue me as much as the heavier MPX PCC would on a long stage where you're making a lot of transitions between shooting points. So I don't mind just the tad bit more bounce that I get with this rifle because of the lighter weight barrel. When I got the MPX PCC and decided to make it my Steel Challenge rifle and this rifle my USPSA rifle, I didn't use the compensator last year. I didn't think it was going to make that big of a deal on targets that you shoot at typical USPSA distances of 7 to maybe 10 yards. So I didn't get a compensator at that time. That logic held out, turned out to be true about 80% of the time. But there were several stages that I shot last year where there were longer distances or required more precision, where I did notice the bounce in the muzzle and with the red dot, and it hurt me. So I decided when the season ended that I would seek out a compensator for this MPX, and the Coda Evolution is a great choice. Definitely looking for that. The final thing to talk about here is the magazine extension that I have on the rifle. This is the Terran Tactical Innovations, the TTI base pad for the SIG MPX. It's a +10. They make a +10 and a +11, and I've used them both. Extremely reliable, and they work very well for most USPSA stages because there are round count limitations for short, medium, and long courses, depending on the level of the match that you're shooting, level 1, 2, or 3. In some unique cases, and I know this was the case at the JPP Midwest PCC Championship last year, they did have one stage that I believe was 60 rounds. So it did require a higher round count. And for that, I actually did purchase this Taylor Freelance base pad or magazine extension. It's a +20, and in theory, with the standard SIG 30-round magazine, you should get a capacity of 50 rounds with this base pad. In practice, what I found is it's really, really hard to load past about 44 or 45 rounds. So I only end up getting a couple, 3 more rounds out of this over one of my TTI base pads. So that was a little bit of a disappointment that I couldn't get all 50 in this. I talked to a lot of people, and it seems to be a common issue that you can't really load this up to their stated capacity. So just keep that in mind if you shoot matches that you think you need that kind of capacity, that the Taylor Freelance may not get you where you're looking to be. But that pretty much covers the upgrades that I have made to this SIG MPX for USPSA competition. A few of the things that I've done are new for this year. One of the other new things that I've done is I've also gotten the In Lead We Trust bolt carrier group for the MPX. Robert Ott has started selling these, and they are fantastic. He uses basically the same design, the upgraded design that's in the bolt carrier group that came with the SIG MPX PCC that was new last year. And if you want to learn more about the upgrades to the bolt carrier group, check out my review of the SIG MPX PCC that can be found on Through My Lens. It's a photo review. But the newer design is a little bit better, a little bit more reliable. And I was really excited when Robert Ott of In Lead We Trust started selling them, and I snatched one up. So both the bolt carrier group and the barrel have been upgraded to In Lead We Trust components. And I really can't wait for the season to start so I can try this in USPSA competition. There's a few big matches. I think I'm going to shoot this at the Kentucky High Cap Championship this year. Maybe I'll shoot it in the Area 5 Championship as well. There's a couple of others out there that I think I'm going to use it. But I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed this production from the Through My Lens YouTube channel. If you did, please click on the like button and do share the video on social media. If you'd like to see more content like it, please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and do check out Through My Lens at www.throughmylens.org.